Well, e-hailing drivers across South Africa are planning to shut down major routes and disrupt services in a 3-day national strike next week. Drivers affiliated with global app giants like Uber, Bolt, InDrive as well as Uber Eats have called on government to regulate the industry. They're also calling for fare adjustments and for e-hailing companies to reduce their commission amid fuel or rising fuel costs. So for more on this, we join now by Vatuga Mbelengwa, who is the founder and the spokesperson for the Private Public Transport Association. Vatuga, thank you so much for your time this morning. Let's talk a little bit about what the cry of some of these e-hailing drivers exactly is. I mean, what are they upset about?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, Vatuga. Yes, you can go on.
Okay. Look, we're going on a protest really essentially because we want industry to be regulated. We're asking government to be proactive and fast-track the pace at which industry is being regulated. We can't continue to be exploited in this manner. We have long been in the streets. We have long expressed that we're not happy with the state of e-hailing in the country. We're not happy with the manner in which app companies are treating us. We're not happy with the pricing. We're not happy with the oversaturation of market. But most importantly, we're not happy with the fact that government has not shown itself in defense of its people, in protection of its people. So we're taken to the streets to ask the essential question, why? Why do we continue to be exploited, although we've got a government and a legal framework that is meant to protect us? Why do we continue to have a Department of Transportation that is silent on such a critical matter? Why do we continue to have institutions like Santaco, which are meant to protect public transportation, silent in this situation whereby we find ourselves being attacked, where we find ourselves being exploited, and, you know, essentially we're just taken for granted here.
Yeah. What are the companies actually saying, the likes of Uber, Bolt, when it comes to being able to address some of the grievances that you've come to the party with? I mean, have they remained completely silent? Are you even able to have this engagement with them? Are they even coming to the party and engaging with e-hailing drivers regarding what their concerns are?
No, they're not coming to the party. They're not interested in engaging. You see, one of our grievances is that why we're going to the DTIC is to say, can you explain to us what's the role of these institutions in this country? You know, Uber will say they are a tech company. They provide the connectivity to riders and drivers. But when it comes to certain decisions like setting pricing, you know, they refer to us as partners, but there isn't a single joint decision-making platform that's reflective of a partnership. You know, when it suits them, they're a tech company, but then we don't have the powers to take decisions as independent operators, which they conveniently refer to us as when it's time to hold them accountable, when we're being robbed, when we want to then query how vehicles are being brought onto into industry. So we want to DTIC to clearly define what these companies are, what are their roles, how do we hold them accountable, you know? We think it's important that, you know, we need to have a defined relationship. The current undefined relationship gives way to endless abuse. And, you know, we can't be this when it suits us and be as something else when it's convenient. We need a role that we can hold people in, understand what their commitment is, and how we hold them accountable in that space.
Yeah. I mean, you speak about holding them accountable and you're saying that you can't. Then can't government hold them accountable? Because for the mere fact that they're allowed to operate in the country, does that not mean that they need to have some kind of permit or permission to operate at this magnitude in the country? Or can they just, is it a free-for-all? Because they simply run a technology mechanism, they can get away with how they operate and therefore limit government intervention. We're just trying to understand exactly how is it that government is not intervening and is not coming to the party, as it were, when there's a huge service that is going on in the country that involves e-hailing services, something that is very critical. Transportation of persons is a very critical thing in this country, but it looks as though it's been silent. Why? Is it because Uber and the Bolt and all the likes are just running as tech companies, so you can't regulate it? What's the disconnect here?
Look, we certainly can regulate it. You know, it is our land, and we must be clear on how international companies behave within South Africa. Now, we are not sure why government hasn't moved to regulate, to see, and the behavior as it is in the market now suggests that it is a free-for-all, and we can't continue to let this be a free-for-all. We need to be clear on the fact that, you know, we need to set rules and guidelines as to how tech companies should behave within the country. And, you know, this one of our major calls is to say this isn't an e-hailing problem, it's a social problem, because tech disruptions are going to be felt across many industries. And if we don't set a precedent now as a country to say, this is how tech should behave in this country, we're all doomed. The ongoing silence of government is very, very, very concerning. You know, we've got a president that campaigned on bringing opportunities via the fourth industrial revolution. And this revolution is proving to be a nightmare at this moment. And we're saying we've learned lessons that we need to share with you and the country in order for us to stop the exploitation of the people of South Africa, in order for us to see this industry of e-hailing form part of a healthy within a healthy ecosystem within public transportation. You know, we really need the president, ministers, MECs to show up, and to show up now. You know, it's far too long. We've made noise and people have done nothing and have been unreactive. We need to be proactive if we're going to continually call international companies to come and invest and partake within the South African economy. We need to make sure that we put people first. It must be about people before technology, you know?
Yeah, just to interject there, Vatuka, then how long will this strike be? And what are you hoping to achieve from the strike? And then what happens if you do not get your objective met? So let's start from how long is the strike going to be, and what are you trying to achieve from it? And if they don't come to the party with those demands, then what?
So on Tuesday, the 22nd, we head to Pretoria to the union buildings and the DTIC. On Wednesday, we head to the MEC's office. On Thursday, we're going to embark on a national shutdown. We want no e-hailing operations. We want to disrupt industry as much as possible. We intend to, you know, continue with disruption up until some sort of intentional action is taken and some tangible steps and impactful steps are taken by government. You know, we will picket. We will target critical institutions. We will ask certain individuals with the correct powers as to why are you not doing what needs to be done. And we're also going to continually call on society to stand with us, express your opinion. You know, we on social media, we're going on the hashtag #WhyDOT, hashtag why Mr. President, hashtag #WhyDITC, hashtag why Santago, because it's an essential question within society, within governance, as to why are things not happening?
Yeah.
Why are
Do you think that there's political will, Vatuka? Just on that, do you think that there's political will to actually regulate the sector of industry, or do you think that they're beneficiaries from this industry that we may not know about?
Look, we as industry certainly believe that the blind eye being turned is intentional. We don't currently feel there's political will, but this is why we are embarking on disruption to say, let us sway political will and let us demand that political will serve the nation of this, the people of this nation. Currently, you know, if tomorrow we find out that there's certain individuals who are being bribed, or there's a third hand, or, you know, they are protecting the needs of Uber and Bolt instead of protecting the needs of the South African people, we wouldn't be shocked to find that out, because these companies in their behavior lack morality. They've got vast amounts of money in which they are stealing from us, and clearly, if they want to continually drive this agenda of exploitation, bribing our officials means nothing to them. But more importantly, you know, we've also got an investment summit taking place on Thursday within SA, and we are saying, what about domestic investment? There's billions and billions of rands that emanate from South African homes, from the families, from grandparents who are catching their parents, who want to give a child, a daughter, a son an opportunity to partake within the economy. What about that investment that comes from, you know, the homes of people who are just seeking opportunity? How do we move to protect domestic investment? Because tech companies are the most replaceable elements in the value chain, but the billions and billions that come from our homes, you know, we need to begin to ensure that that investment serves the South African people.